A very good afternoon to all. Vanakkam, Namaste. Greetings from Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science, Coimbatore. We, the Department of Visual Communication, welcome you for this webinar on Visual Communication degree, short films, filmmaking, and way forward. Before I go to introduce our chief guest for the show, let me read out a quote by Francis Ford Coppola, the famous film director, who made films like Godfather and other important movies that has been talked in the history. He says, film is not a movie. He means it is film. My film is not a movie. It is not about Vietnam. It is Vietnam. So here he means whatever he makes out of a feature film, it talks and it conveys what exactly he wants. That is why we've thought a talk on a career or talk on a feature film is going to make a huge impact for the student community. That is the reason we figure out a candidate or a resource person who carries experience from the industry as well as academic. That is why today we have Dr. Vijay Kumar, Vijay Kumar, Dean from the School of Communication, Zim University, Bhubaneswar, as our resource person. He is basically a loyalite, a Jesuit product, a seasoned media professional, and media educator with very vast experience in the industry as well as in the academic. He has worked in Sun TV, Chennai, Shop CJ TV Network in Mumbai, Frames Entertainment Chennai, and is a played a senior most roles in all the channels that he worked. One of the hallmark frame that he has done is he was the creative head and show director of an award-winning Tamil reality talent hunt show called Nale Yekunar, Future Director. It is a very well-known show in the television centers, and you would see a lot of directors are coming out of that particular show. And he also directed South India's first reality television show for identical twins called Irvar. So those are his famous works. And he is a doctor from Anna University, and his area of research is interactive reality television. He has done extreme works in positive psychology, interactive digital communication, and educational media. Let me introduce as well as let me welcome Dr. Vijay Kumar for the show. And without wasting time, let me also hand over the session back to Dr. Vijay. It's over to you, Vijay, sir. Dr. Vijay, it's over to you, Vijay, sir.
Okay, so I hope I'm audible.
Perfect.
Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, right. So thank you, my dear buddy, Professor Leo, for the lovely introduction. Special thanks to all of you for accommodating me here at this point of time. I hope everyone out here is safe, sound, and healthy. Professor Leo has taken 5 minutes, so without any ado, let us get into the session or the webinar. When Professor Leo asked me to hold a webinar, I suggested this topic. I suggested interactive insights. Yes, interactive insights. We are going to have an interaction through this digital platform in a mediated communication mode. To have an interaction, we need something to talk about. So we'll be discussing about visual communication degree, short films, filmmaking, plus, and plus. Slide change. The following are the point of discussion in this session. First, scene 1, the tale of short films. Scene 2, short film content. Scene 3, NI and UT, that is Nale Yekunar and YouTube. Scene 4, feature films. Scene 5, visual communication degree and way forward. Then we'll be having a climax, that is summary leads to Q&A. Slide change, please. Is it slides or on? Right. Scene 1, the tale of short films with a fade in. With a fade in. Short films in India and shorts in other parts of the world is a mini narrative film with a beginning, middle, and an end. But in many of the short films, we may not be able to find all these three elements because it is short in nature, obvious. So what we end up viewing mostly is a couple of scenes with interrelated meaning leads to climax. Slide change. Short films ranges in length and time from barely from few frames till 72 minutes. It is considered to be a short film in India. According to CBFC, Central Board of Film Certification Guidelines. More than 72 minutes is considered as a long film or a feature length film. I think the slides is pretty fast. Kindly wait for my cue. Okay, minus slide, go back. So media education, typically journalism education in India is 100 years old. Started in Adyar, um, um, in near Madras, which is now called as Chennai, by Annie Besant in 1920. She took special efforts to train the English literature students to become a professional journalist. One among the early initiative was university level program offered at Aligarh Muslim University in 1938 and got terminated in 1940. I think the person who is working on the slides is not getting me right. You have to be in the slide of 100 years. So that Aligarh Muslim University degree program got terminated in 1940. Subsequently, in other universities across India, journalism and mass communication degree program were started. Slide change. But visual communication or audio-visual based communication related education started a bit late, but firmly took shape through film institutes, especially with Adyar Film Institute, which is currently known as MGR Government Film and Television Training Institute. Under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting in 1960, the Film and Television Institute of India was established, which offered technical and skill-based postgraduate programs related to filmmaking that provided workforce to a film industry. These institutes initially started with the phenomena called short films for their academic projects like mise-en-scene project or continuity exercise, diploma short film projects, and many more. But they did all these with film stocks. They did all these with film stocks with celluloid. Of late, Loyola College Chennai started something which is very popular in South India, southern part of the India, that is called as BSc Visual Communication degree. The person who is there in the slides, you are rightly here with me in the slide. Hold on. Okay, when I go for slide, when I say for say slide change, you try changing it. Don't move right now. So BSc Visual Communication degree started. This happened in early 90s, or to be very precise, 1989. This started. The phenomena called visual communication degree started. It's a time of post-liberalization, early 90s, the era where film industry was dominant. Very few other medium were available, like state-owned TV network called Doordarshan, uh, Akashwani, and off late in 1993, Sun TV network kick-started. So slowly, private television came into place. Visuals and visual medium took a different turn with this private television channels, and till now we are having some new channel or other going on air. I remember the recent one is ETV Bal Bharat. It started 1.5 months before. Remember, it's the time where there is no internet and no social media. Available medium were very limited. Film medium, feature film, radio, TV, and print medium. Um, at that point of time, visual communication degree did not focus much on journalism or print media. More focus was given on audiovisual delivery or creative delivery through visuals and many other forms. So visual communication students started showing their creativity through analog photography, what we call it as SLR camera. Now, DSLR is very popular. Digital single lens reflex cameras are popular, but in a non-digital era, it is just SLR camera. So, analog photography and short films has become one point of solution or one point of uh, creative outlet of visual communication students. Slide change. So, it started there. It started there in somewhere in 1989, and it's now 2021. 32 years. 32 years have passed by. The tale is long, linear, and simple. The tale is very, very simple. Slide change, please. Scene short film content. We are moving on to the next set of narrative, I would say. So let me end the scene one with dissolve. Slide change. Scene two, short film content. A long tail lead us to a new discussion. That discussion is all about what kind of content these short films were having. What kind of content? Yes, obviously, content is the king, right? We go to a film, a feature film, or we watch a feature film. What really give excitement for us is the content. So, what was the content these short films were having? It was filled with messages. It was filled with messages. Slide change. It was. I need to say it is like a instead of short film, it can be termed as sharp films because of serious messages those films were having. The reason behind serious messages or because of the audience. The audience are not the general audience, they are special audience. Typically, that time, during those times, there is no YouTube or there is no publishing platform or there is no social media to show the creative works to everyone. What these visual communication students were having is a screening room in the college, where seniors, juniors, and everybody will try to watch, or professors will watch, or to an extent, those films will go for film festival, where the typical audience are film festival judges, or socially conscious group of people. It worked. It worked for them because in a film festival, a film comes with a message may take more interest. So what happened? Appreciation awards were given to the films with message. So films, short films, which was done by visual communication students, were having more messages. So like Marshall McLuhan said, no, media is medium is the message. So here, short film medium becomes typically for message, typically for messages, messages. Okay, too much of messages. We tried breaking these when we started doing Nale Yakana. So we tried making short films having some commercial value or engagement value. I mean to say that commercial is not a song or things like that, what normally we think. We tried making an engagement with the audience, making the audience glued towards the content. So this is what we tried doing in Nale Yakunar. And the major thing which we achieved also is we found or we made a market for short films. So this is what we tried, and we succeeded also. So the messages which I was talking about, right? The messages were typically of education, poverty, social injustice, whatnot. Typical narrative styles will be in slow-mo, lengthy, long shots, slow-paced music. These were the styles the young visual communication students tried adopting. Days and years rolled on. Digital camera, digital devices came in. Better gears were available. Software-based non-linear editing platforms were available. Apps and so much sophisticated digital elements started coming in. Slight change. This is 2000. This is the time of 2000 I'm talking about. 2000s. Now the genre has changed for visual communication students. Okay, so the social messages started reducing, but they came with something called friendship, romance, love failures, smoking, alcohol, drug, rash driving, struggles of teenagers, bit and piece of drama, melodrama, and these were the very popular genres these visual communication students started doing films on. Lyricist Wali mentioned in a song, slight change please. Lyricist Wali mentioned in a song in a film called Boys, a Tamil film Boys. I think the person who is changing the slide need to come to a slide on Boys. There will be a slide on Boys. So in a Tamil film called Boys, released in 2003, there was a song. The song is something like this: Sarigame Padani say. Okay, if I need to tweak the lines of lyricist Wali, slight change, buddy. You have to come to the slide on Boys. I hope you are not in synchronization with me. The next slide is Boys slide. Okay, if I need to tweak a bit of lyricist Wali's lines to say what this 2000 era visual communication students were doing as short films is, The line what Kavinger Wali wrote is केट को लक काल किलो लॉस काल किलो लेबर काल किलो सेत को भक्ति काल किलो उप काल किलो talent काल किलो इलामे சேர்ந்து கட்டுன பெரிய பொட்டலம் secret of success. This is the actual lines of Kavinger Wali. Okay, if I need to tweak and I need to say what this 2000 time of students were doing, it will be like this. केटको फ्रेंडशिप काल किलो रोमांस काल किलो लव फेलियर काल किलो सेतको स्मोकिंग काल किलो ड्रग्स काल किलो टीनेज प्रॉब्लम काल किलो எல்லாமே சேர்த்து கட்டுன பெரிய பொட்டலம் secret of short films. So it was like that. So whatever these young chaps they were trying to do is they took reference directly from their lives. Obviously youngster, so a teenager, whatever he faced in his life, he tried doing it as a short film, like love failure films, rash driving films, okay, drugs, abuse, those kind of things. Till now many visual communication students from different colleges do this. Slide change. Okay, many visual communication students do this. Yes or no? Yes or no? I may not be able to listen, but answer for yourself. Yes or no? Dear participants, kindly believe me. I had first-hand experience dealing visual communication students and budding filmmakers. I listen to narrations. Script reading sessions will be held. The first thing when they come to narrate a film, they may say, "Sir, first of his kind, sir," or he will say probably from the real life experience, sir, I'm going to do this short film. Or the next weapon he may throw is he will say, sir, this is the need of the art film, sir, because I encountered this problem. Similarly, youngsters will also be facing the same problem. These kind of statements youngsters very often say. That's why I place a thumb rule. To my students, okay, or someone who comes to narrate their films to me. I'll say my thumb rule will be somewhat like this. Tell me something apart from love, psychodrama, okay, drug abuse, friendship issues, or teen flicks. Then it will be interesting. Okay, so let us come to the end of the scene 2. Slide change. End of the scene 2. Dissolve 2. Next, slide change. The next slide is, or the next portion, or the next thing in my narrative is scene 3. Scene 3 is NI and UYT. NI means Nale Yekner and UT is YouTube. It will be very interesting to explain what has happened and how things went on. A couple of young visual communication graduates who had great interest towards films and very often participated in the film festival produced short films during their course, during their BSc visual communication course. Try producing more short films, working in television channels as show directors, executive producers, production controller, and they were looking for an avenue to develop a concept or a model for television to showcase their skills in a big platform. So it was mid of 2009. Almost all popular television channel in Tamil tried their luck in programming in 3 popular reality talent and show format. 3. So the very first one is singing, the second is dance, the third is comedy. So almost all television channel, they tried doing this three: singing, dance, and comedy. Till now, in Tamil television landscape, this is popular. But these youngsters, they were looking for a space where they wanted to try out something more beyond this three. So these youngsters got an inspiration by two formats. One is from West and one is from India. Slight change. That is On the Lot. In 2007, there was a show premiered in Fox called On the Lot, a single season reality talent and show on filmmaking produced by director Steven Spielberg. I hope you must be knowing who is Steven Spielberg. The person who is there in the slide, I think he is really struggling. He has gone to the first slide. Okay, leave it, not an issue. So Steven Spielberg is a director, well-known director. Along with Steven Spielberg, there was a person called Mark Burnett. Mark Burnett is a British television producer who is currently the chairman of MGM Television Groups. He is best known for creating and producing reality shows like Survivor and Apprentice. He is the person too who is the person who made On the Lot. And the third person is David Goffin. So he's an executive producer, and he made American Idol, Rockstar, and currently is associated with a company called Content Works in LA. Slight change. So this is one benchmark for the youngsters, though for those youngsters. The next is an Indian reference called Gateway to Hollywood. In 2008, Gateway to Hollywood got premiered in Sony Pix. It's a 13 episode, 1 hour, 13 weeks, 1 hour episode, where 18 young filmmakers from India tried their luck in that reality show. It was produced by Amrit Raj of Eid Park Entertainment. He's the person who produced a film called Jeans in Tamil, directed by director Shankar. So the interesting factor about this particular show is the person who win the show, he will get 8 weeks internship with Eid Park Entertainment in Hollywood, and he may get a chance of doing a feature film. So this is the second benchmark for those youngsters. Slight change. Since Tamil Nadu is one of the film-dominated state, the young team narrowed down to develop a format which is a talent and show for budding filmmakers through short films. Exclusively to be broadcast for a television channel called Kalaignar TV. But they came with the idea of every week 3 or 4 short films, which is little different from On the Lot and Gateway to Hollywood. In Gateway to Hollywood, in the entire season of the reality show, few films only will be produced. More the process of filmmaking will be showed to the audience, like storyboarding or script writing, all those things. I just wanted to give a small snippet to you people. So in Gateway of Hollywood, Mr. Balaji Mogan of Kadalil Sodapudi Eppadi, if somebody doesn't know Tamil, how to mess up in love, maybe the translation for that film. Kadalil Sodapudi Eppadi, Balaji Mogan contested in Gateway to Hollywood. Okay, so what happened is further Tamil television was predominantly moving around in that point of time around 2009, majorly with film and film related shows. So the young team, they decided on a reality show where the fiction meets non-fiction. That is, short film meets the reality show ingredient, and they named it as Nalaya Iyakunar. I think. Okay, among those young visual communication graduates, I'm also one among them. So I was also part of that core team, which made Nalaya Iyakunar. First three seasons, slide change please. First three seasons, 3.5 seasons, if I need to very precisely say, first 3.5 seasons was spearheaded by Mr. M.S. Sivanesan. Mr. Sivanesan is her buddy, so we are college buddies. So Sivanesan directed first 3.5 seasons of Nalaya Iyakunar, and he is the producer of a Tamil feature film called Kalidas. Slight change. A Tamil feature film called Kalidas, which was released in 2019, where it featured actor Bharat. Right. So, what happened? So after that, I took charge as the head of creatives and director of the show. Slide change, please. And I started doing Nalaya Iyakunar. Okay, so why I need to say all these things? What we tried out of the show is something different. We experimented with short films with the different genres like action films, con films, dual roles, fantasy films, aged films, murder mystery films, police story, science fiction films, films developed out of short stories, சிறுகதைகளின் மூலமா உருவான short films, where we roped in Thiru S. Ramakrishnan, a very prominent, eminent writer in Tamil. So he volunteered and he worked with young filmmakers. Then we tried sports films, thrillers, village story films. Finally, this I would say one of the best thing what we tried in Nalaya Iyakunar. We made Tirukural based films. So everybody knows Tirukural is a classic Tamil language literature where we were having 1,300 short couplets. So Tirukural based films also we tried out. What we did not try, we were having a long bucket list. We planned to do children films, chick flicks, sequels, prequels, and many things. Lots of bucket list was there. Due to some reasons, we could not able to do all these things. To be very frank, the big bunch of stakeholders, the contestants, the contestants are the big bunch of stakeholders. So we plan to first take contestants from visual communication background. We plan to get visual communication students of the state of Tamil Nadu to be in Nalaya Iyakunar show. The logic is very simple. Our logic was very simple. So since all visual communication students would have done at least a short film during their course, in fact, we sent a communication to many institutions which offered visual communication degree, and we expected a decent number of entries. It was shocking. I think the slide is on a right place. It was shocking. To see the works of the visual communication students. It was not up to the broadcast quality. In fact, we struggled to accommodate visual communication students in the show, because the content or the short films what the visual communication students were doing or sent was merely an amateur college project. They were still doing love films or love failure films or teenage problem kind of films. In the preliminary screening, the scrutiny team experienced 4 type of entries. Um, the very first one is interesting plot based short film with technical excellency. The next is well narrated film but technically unsound. The third is technically strong but poor narrative. The fourth is weak in all aspects of filmmaking and narration. So major number of visual communication students projects or the short films that were there in the category 4. After so much of hand holding to the contestant, the show kick-started. Slight change. Now NI Nalai Iyakunar is a popular, it's very popular. So it's very popular in YouTube as well. Many diaspora communities started following YouTube when the show was on air, and we were having international contestants also. So 6 seasons have been completed now. 1,000+ short films the show has given. More than 4 dozens of directors are currently available in Tamil film industry. N number of on-air talents. Few stars also. Few stars also were the finds of Nalai Iyakunar. Lots of technicians. All these are finds of Nalai Iyakunar. So I don't want to explain much about this. The rest is history or legacy. Now Nalai Iyakunar has become a brand. It has become a brand. It has become a movement. A movement called Tamil New Wave Film Movement. More than 1 decade have passed, and it is still on. And it is still on. Apparently, Nalai Iyakunar has become a ray of hope for many budding filmmakers, short filmmakers, or visual communication students, those who have stories to say, and to jump into the mainstream film industry. So this is what the show has given to the aspirants. Slight change. End of scene 3. Dissolve 2. Scene 4. The scene 4 is feature films. Scene 4 is feature films. Feature films are big dreams for many aspirants. For many aspirants, feature film is a big dream. Slight change. The way is simple. The way is simple to reach out to feature films. It's a big dream, as I told, right? So through this webinar, what can I say to those who are part of this webinar? This question I face very often when students talk about their aspiration to be a storyteller. So take notes, read a lot. Read a lot. You may get disappointed of listening to this. I'm not saying this as a professor, as a PhD holder, as Dr. V. Vijay. Okay. If I don't have a PhD or if I'm not teaching also, I will say this. Reading gives supplies for creative thought process. Read a lot. Think out of the box. Think out of the box. Put your thoughts in writing. That's the put your thoughts in writing. Okay, this is also probably a little uncomfortable thing for a couple of students. But don't take it literally. So I'm not saying that you need to take write in a in a book or a pen and paper. No, it's not that. You can use some app or some software. It's up to you. But put it in writing. That will really help you. Next point, fourth point. Don't imitate others. There is somebody who is already exist. So don't try to imitate them. Don't imitate others. Don't simply follow the trends. Point number 5. I mean what I say. Sir, what is this? You're saying don't follow the trends. I did not say that don't follow the trends. I said don't simply follow the trends. Simply within quotes. Okay? Do some research and follow. Don't simply follow. The next point is don't be a fan. Don't be a fan. If somebody says, I'm a fan of this director, I'm a fan of this actor, that may not uh, go well with me. Because when you are a fan, you will lose objectivity. Because you are a fan. Because you are a fan. So you will lose objectivity because you are so obsessed about that particular thing. Okay, I'm not talking about only person. Anything. Don't be a fan of anything. Okay, you will lose objectivity. Look out for learning in everything you do. Look out for learning in everything you do. Very important. Be serious in whatever you do. Be serious in whatever you do. Don't do it anything just for the sake of doing. Don't do it that your friend asked for it. Don't do it that your parents told. Don't do it because Professor Leo told, or anybody in your life. Okay, do it for yourself. Don't do it for others. Do it for yourself. The next point which I'm going to say, maybe you many students may not like or may not agree to it. The next point is study well. Study well, because studying will give you knowledge. Knowledge will give you lots of thought process. It will civilize you. Study well. Remember that you are in a dynamic world. Things are drastically changing every day, overnight. Best example is COVID-19 pandemic. 2 years before, I did not think that I'm going to speak to aspirants through a digital medium, like like this kind of a mediated communication. But we are in a dynamic world, right? So pandemic has given this to us. Many of my students very often they say, "Sir, we miss college. It would be great if we are coming to the college and working in the studios." I'm sitting in my studio. Okay. Uh, what I say to them is, see everything as an opportunity rather than obstacles. This I told when pandemic hit last year, because my students they are good in being a DOP, director of photography, or doing direction works, or doing photography. Okay, they got mental block. I told this is the time for you to learn and do something more. If you are a DOP, learn editing, man. Okay, do sound designing. Go for motion graphics, motion graphic design. Now my students they do all these things. A director can do editing. A DOP can do a sound designing, motion graphic artwork. A photographer can do a promotional design. So see things as an opportunity rather than an obstacle. I have a case study also to talk about this. Be ready to accept the reality. This is the last thing probably I would say. Be ready to accept the reality. If it works, fine, go. If it is not, there will be a route 2 or the second route or the next way. Take that. Don't stop. The era of short films are taking a new shape because of this OTT and other things or pandemic. There is nothing, or I would say there is something called short film is not going to be anymore exist. We have something called originals now. We have something called web series now. Okay, snacky format content are really making big differences. I hope many of you part of that watching reels in social media. Reels have great engagement. Reels are getting more views. Analytics says this. Yesterday I was working on some analytics that says reels are really working. I'm not asking you to do a reel where somebody dance and do a selfie kind of reels. I'm talking about the snacky format. Short, simple, and sweet. That interest more. Okay, this is a era of OTT. Slight change. So pandemic has given great push to OTTs. So OTTs are looking forward for writers. OTTs are looking forward for writers. Uh, Now writers are in demand. Slight change. Now the writers are in demand. But will visual communication department supply the demand? That's the biggest question. Professor Leo or me or any other professors who teach or part of creative pedagogy need to answer. There is a demand for writers, but do we can able to supply uh, uh, for the demand? Slight change. Sometime before I was in Coimbatore. Uh, that time I met professor, a senior seasoned visual communication professor, and we were having a chat and conversation. That is with in context with visual communication students and the aspirants. Um, in during that conversation, mm, that professor he said that, sir, the students are not writing, they are not ready to write, then how quality can be expected out of the students? This is what he said. He was right. I think slide have gone forward. Go -1. Okay. He was right. He said that the students are not writing, they are not willing to write. uh, and he was a little bit right also. Minus, yes, write it. Yeah, you are right. Slide, it is right. Hold on. Okay, so we are having in visual communication courses on writing for media and many things, but when he was saying, I felt he is right, because Stanley Kubrick, filmmaker Stanley Kubrick, said something of this kind. He said, if you can write or thought, it can be filmed. Okay, what he said, if you can write or thought, it can be filmed. So writing become essential. It is not I write a version. It is not that sir, I finished, sir, I started typing, I finished, okay, there the film or the short film script is ready. No, that is not writing. You need to go for multiple versions. So it can be 5, 7, 10. It's up to you. Okay. We always see Hollywood filmmakers as sometimes role models. They write many drafts. They take more years to complete a film, because every draft will give a new dimension to the narrative. The more the draft, or the more the draft version, the better the script. Then go for script reading. Read the script with the crew. Have inclusiveness. Okay, inclusiveness is very important. Listen to perspectives. They may say the loopholes of your script. Then start narrating. Search for Professor Leo. Go, narrate to him. If he is not available, go to Professor Devika or Professor Ananta or Professor Pranav or Professor Clifford. Okay, if all of these people are not there, go run directly to the principal office. Professor Vigila will be there. Start narrating. If not Professor Vigila, the principal, go to vice principal, Professor Shanti. If not JC, if not CM, if not PM, go. Who will say no to listen stories? From our preschool times, we listen to stories. We love stories. But remember, go with a solid out of the box content. Okay, or otherwise don't waste their time. And to be very precise, even don't waste your time. Okay, logic is very simple. The logic is very, very simple. A good and genuine script will not allow you to sleep over it. It will not allow you to sleep over it. It will push you that it will push you to make the audio visual. Slide change, please. So we are coming to the end of scene 4, cut 2. So all the scenes I used dissolve as a transition. Here I went for cut 2. Okay, cut 2. Slide change. Uh, scene 5. Scene 5 is visual communication degree and way forward. I think I have taken 50 minutes, another 5-10 minutes max. Okay, scene 5, visual communication degree and way forward. Visual communication is not always about doing short films. Okay, this I wanted to emphasize. I mentioned sometime before OTT has drastically altered our viewing habits, at least with Gen Z, who are digital natives, and Zen Alpha. They are also digital natives. They are kids of millennials. Probably my son and daughter, they are Zen Alpha. Okay, for them, digital OTTs is not a trouble. For these generation, they have wide range of options. In 1989, when visual communication started, there is no much of options. Now you have social media, digital media. I encourage my students to try out all these new domains. You can be a social media specialist, digital content creator. Slide change. You can be in digital era or part of digital era. In visual communication, there are courses on designing, learning proprietary softwares like Adobe package will probably help you to a bigger level. Slide change. Adobe package consists of Illustrator or InDesign or After Effects or Premiere Pro, or you can learn Maya, Max, Nuke, DaVinci, etc., etc. Can be advertising storyteller. Even everyday ads we see, where print or digital, there is storytelling. It is not that you need to take short films to say a story. You can do ad also. Whenever I go to YouTube, this ad will pop up. Probably a 6-second ad where before skipping it, it will end. The ad is somewhat like this. Take a 3D trial, get intelligent frame recommendation, and find your perfect pair. Lenskart.com. This 6-second advertisement piqued my interest. I wear spectacles. Yesterday we were doing a test dry run. A test we were doing this YouTube. That time I was saying to the tech team, I said I wear spectacles so you can see the light streaks on my spectacles. Okay, this advertisement picked my attention. Whenever I go to buy a spectacles next time, probably I will go and pick Lenskart.com because of that 6 or 7 seconds advertisement narrative. This is example of storytelling. And remember, we have IMC, Integrated Marketing Communication. There is scope for PR, public relation. You can become a public relation professional or a corporate communication executives, or you can be do events. Remember, visual communication degree is not only to make short films. But I need to say this: Tamil film industry is one of the progressive industry. One point of time, it accommodated students, film institute students as filmmakers. Okay, the popular end screen of a feature film will be like this: film by film institute students. Then later, visual communication students, they came to film industry. Of late, Nale Yaknash, they become filmmakers. They are now also doing. Very interesting is after Nala Iyakunar, okay, YouTubers, they become filmmakers. Tamil film industry introduced a YouTuber as a filmmaker, a director. Maybe the next open doors will be open for probably social media influence. Started with Film Institute, Visual Communication, Nala Iyakunar, YouTubers. Next, maybe social media influence or OTT storytellers or more and beyond, because we are part of probably a very progressive industry called Tamil film industry. Slight change. So remember, the future is with people who grow and adapt technology for their creative delivery and life. Researchers Rosenberry and Vicker in 2006 stated in their research something like this. They stated that an adolescent who register for an undergraduate program may not be prepared for life. He or she may expect an academic experience which nurture the skills and learnings. He may look forward for lots of learning so that he will become more confident to lead a better and quality life. So an undergraduation degree program becomes a crucial factor in empowering somebody, giving employability. The third is overall development as an individual. I hope the audience, majority of the audience of this particular webinar are within this category. Either you have started your undergraduation or you are about to start your undergraduate education. So best wishes for you. Right. So slight change. So the end piece is somewhat like this. So I was singing a song from Boys. So the end piece is also from the same Sarigame Padanise. Okay. So we are moving on to the climax. Okay. Slight change. What is that climax? When the slide is on, I will say that. Slight change. The climax is Mati Yose. That what I say. Think differently. That is the need of the hour. Okay, so last slide. Move on to the last slide. Mati Yose. That what I say. So thank you so much for your time. So this is all about my narrative, and you are probably seeing the last slide where you can see my name, my contact details, and all those things. Sir, this is not mentioned in the here we go slide in the beginning. This is end scroll. Okay, this is end scroll. End scroll means the detail of my contacts and other things. Okay, signing off. Slide exit, please. So that's all from my end. I've taken exactly 59 minutes minus 5, minus 6, 50, 52 or 53 minutes. That's all from my end. Over to Professor Leo for questions.
Thank you, Vijay. I still remember the days we watched boys together in the Devi Theatre. I could say those days are real fun. And today you are able to get the best out of that particular movie and able to encourage the current students. That is amazing. Okay, I don't want to waste my time. I'll hand back to my student community who are interested, who are ready to interact with you. There are at least 4 to 5 guys are in the waiting list. You can take questions one by one.
I'm ready. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, fine. The broadcast guys, you can just take me off at the guys who are interested to ask questions. Thank you.
Okay, so meanwhile, when you switch, I need to say I mentioned scenes in the slides. Okay, I wanted to make a narrative. I mentioned a scene one, scene two, scene three, four, five, but it is not scene. Okay, it's a sequence. Okay, just I don't want to confuse the audience or the learners or the listeners or the part of the participants team using the terminology called sequence. But it is not scene, it is sequence, because it was having lots of time differences. Time lapse was there. Okay, so I need to explain what is a scene and sequence and all. If just an example of a book. Okay, if a book uh, if I give an example of a book is a narrative, it's a totality. Chapter is the sequence, paragraphs is the scene, uh, sentence is the short, and the frames are the words. Okay, just wanted to explain this towards the end. Right, questions please.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hi, good
Sir,
afternoon.
students are. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Great, hope the same
Sir,
with you.
students are. I have. Yeah, sir. I have a question, sir. If students are all making short films, how do we, break through the general clutter and make a film with a great impact? One that will leave its mark on the world and, maybe also get nominated for an Academy Award. How do we ensure that we break this general cycle of usual production restrictions and the, overlay narrative duns and all of that? How do we sit, brainstorm, and think of something really different and unique? Like what would work in favor of us in order to do that, and what should we be avoiding when we start to think in that process, sir?
Okay, right, so you are having lots of questions in a single question. Let me explain with simple words. um, if you want to be different from others, if you want to break the clutter, you need to come with some content which is not experienced. So not experienced or made or given to the audience. So what you need to do is you need to get that experience first. Okay, so don't do the routine regularly. For example, sit with children. Okay, don't always sit with your friends, because what you experience, the similar thing your friend also will experience. Follow a child. Take a different journey. If you're going to college by bus, one day start walking, you will see 100 people, different type of people in your life. Okay, so that experience, speak to elders, live a child life. Very simple. As my son, no, he is in class 3. Okay, sometimes after a PhD and research and narratives and all, no, sometimes his question you cannot answer. He asked me a question: what is A category in a CBFC certificate? Oh man, a third standard student, how can I explain him in a very simple form? This is the interesting element of a kid. Can you able to understand? Live a child life. You cannot put a child in a single place. If you put a child, okay, he will jump, go there, do some nonsense or something. Okay, try experiencing different things. Be jovial. Okay, play, have fitness, read a lot. Because very simple is, it is not that everything will come to your creativity. Okay, even best filmmakers, they read a lot, because that is the source where you can get lots of best inspiration. Follow uh, follow reading, do reading, whatever interest you read. It is not always fiction or always um, some some other formats. I love reading short stories. I don't read novels, because for me, the beginning, middle, end should happen very fast. Okay, read a lot. This is what I tried to say. Read. Don't aim for awards. This I said to the Nale Ekner contestants when they were doing short films. I said, don't do films to impress the judges. Do films for yourself. If you start doing a film, no, towards the end you will achieve somewhere closely to 70 or 60% max. You cannot do 100% satisfying film till you reach some 80 or 90 or 95. Okay, you are in the mode of experiment. You are a practitioner, you are a creative practitioner. Okay, so you do what is really interesting, which will make sense. Automatically laurels will come to you. Don't do it for laurels. Don't do something where Professor Leo need to say good, or Professor Vijay Kennedy need to say good, or Professor Vijay need to say, amazing. No. Best will come later. Best is the second stuff, or the awards and rewards are the second level. Do something which is very engaging. That's all. Finish. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thanks a lot, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Oh, from YouTube, I can read this. I think Professor Devika. Interesting, sir. Your narrative structure as a visual cue, scene format. Thank you, Professor Devika. Dr. Amitraj, he has said great. Thank you, Dr. Amitraj. Radhika R, I think she is also a professor. She said, very true. Reading is essential to be creative. Madam, every single day I'm trying to do it. Let's see. I'm trying reading my kids' things also. Right. Nishant,
Good
post
afternoon,
your
sir.
question.
Thank you so much, sir, for spending your time with us. And
Thank you so much for spending your time with me.
no, sir. I do short films, sir. I have worked in a feature film also as an assistant director. So I have one question which it's repeating in my mind. It is, according to current scenario, is it advisable for a filmmaking student to have a secondary backup degree?
Good question. I really appreciate this question, Nishan. Don't do anything for degree. Okay, be a student till you die. That's all. Till you are not there in this world. Okay, learn something, because we have smartphones right now. Okay, some few years before, during your college school times, you did not have a smartphone, or probably you were having pager. There was something called pager was there. Okay, if we put a full stop saying that I will not learn, then you will get outdated. Don't do a degree, or don't do it something for a degree called where you will wear a gown and get it, all those things. That is secondary, man. Read, study, that's all. Don't stop studying. Learn artificial intelligence, learn virtual reality, augmented reality, because all these are going to come and change drastically, because
Yes.
we are in the world of algorithms, we are in the world of Google, we are in, because you don't require Dr. Vijay, you just Dr. Google will say many things. Okay, whether it is right or wrong, sometimes Dr. Vijay need to say. Okay,
Yes.
don't stop learning. Don't
Okay.
stop learning. Keep on learning, because if you learn, that will give confidence. Why we need to learn? The logic is very simple. We are learning to get confidence. Success gives confidence. Okay,
Okay.
learning success will give confidence. I'm speaking to you through this webinar. My learnings helping me to speak in front of you with confidence. That's all.
Okay.
So study. Don't take literally studying as a studying. Okay, I'm not talking that you need to take a book and read every single day. Okay, learning comes out of many things. Go to a new place, or experience something new, learn a new software. It's up to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Ananya. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
sir. I have a question for you, sir.
Please.
Sir, with the rise of OTT platforms, does that mean the cinema viewing experience has changed for audience all around the world? Will people ever want to step into the cinema theaters again?
I need to say this in a very I need to answer this to this question in a different form. It is not that we will go or we will not go. From the day of media which is available with us, okay, we were having different modes of reaching the media to us. Okay, it is not only OTT or the film or the narratives. So in news industry, newspaper, okay, sometime before we were having a hard copy version of the newspaper coming to our homes every day. Now we are having apps. Okay, the consumption will take different levels or stages or dimensions. but the experience of watching a film or being part of a narrative will not stop. Because if we don't watch film, or if we are not part of these kind of engagement and entertainment, our life will get bored. Okay, so this is the biggest entertainment which we have, especially in the country like India. We are one of the largest producers of films. Every Friday before the pandemic hit, every Friday a couple of films will get released. But now we are having it in the digital form, in a secondary device, in a mobile phone. So consumption will happen. What we are missing is the popcorn or the travel or the theater noise or all those things. But things will be there. It will take a different shape. Bigger value films will do well in theaters. OTTs will come with lots of good best narratives where it will reach niche audience. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
God bless. Are we overshooting the time? I think it's 4:12.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi,
Hi, I'm
Prasu.
Rishad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rishad Prasu.
Yeah. So, films have started navigating topics like they were never really been covered in such depth, uh, like Pavakadegal. I'm sorry. So, how does it change the complete perspective of the narrative? How does it bring out stories which were never covered in mainstream cinemas before?
Okay, so what you are referring is an anthology. That genre is called as anthology, where you will have multiple stories with one totality, that is a feature. Just think, are you a communication student, a visual communication student?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you and four of your friends, okay, doing short films, 20 minutes each. If you want to compile with a single theme and wanted to present it, then that is an anthology. Okay, so this emerged out of the need of multiple stories. What is very interesting in anthology is, or Pavakadaigal or any other these kind of things is, we are in a digital age. We don't have 3 hours or 2 hours continuously to spend at current era. I watched a film in Bhubaneswar, a Tamil film got released during pandemic. I watched, it was some close to 3 hours film. During the interval, I was running to the restroom. Okay, so we don't have much of time for lengthy things. Because of our biological reasons, we need to go to washrooms. The next is, we have many things to do. If I extend this webinar for another 20 minutes, you may probably curse me. In that time, anthology will really help you. I watched that particular anthology 4 days. Every day is 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It's easier for me to do it, right? So this is the need. That's all. This is a need of current times. It is not about how the content or all the things. It is the format. That's all. This is what I wanted to say about it.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
so there is Maithili Devi, ma'am. I don't know whether she is a professor or not. She said, short, sweet, and simple in a single scene webinar, Matiyosi. Thank you, Maithili Devi. Thank you.
Hello,
I
sir.
missed somebody, Dominic. He said, interesting session. Zuza, he has said 100%. Okay, now we have Arpita. Hi, Arpita.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Great. Top of the world, because I'm meeting you, right?
That's wonderful, sir. So, sir, I have a very generic question, but I want to know your perspective. So, well, according to you, what makes someone a really great filmmaker, and what do you think would be the top difficulties, topmost difficulties?
So with that particular filmmaker, is it like that? One
No,
great
I mean,
filmmaker.
in general, if a person should be a really great filmmaker, what would it make someone to be a great filmmaker, and what would they have to face, the difficulties they might have to face?
Okay. The first is, as I said, I am not fan of anybody, so I won't recommend names. Okay, I have not uttered much names in my entire 1 hour of webinar. I uttered Mr. Sivanesan, then Balaji Mohan to for an example. So what makes somebody great? Their work. That's all. This I need to take example of my own, I would say, guru. Okay, Akira Kurosawa. So my daughter name is Rain Vijayan. Okay, I really love the master Akira Kurosawa, so I named my daughter as Rain. Okay, it's a Japanese origin name. Okay, Akira Kurosawa says that something defines you. What defines you? Your work defines you. Okay, what defines Vijay? This webinar defines Vijay. What defines Arpita? Arpita's storytelling or Arpita's way of taking life. Yes, simple. So what is great about a director? His work. That's all, finished. One, I completed the answer for the first question. The second is, what is difficulty for youngsters or probably for budding filmmakers? Laziness. Okay, so we don't love writing, as I said. Okay, the professor who teach writing for media, probably you may not like him a lot, or you may not like her a lot. Those who give assignment and deadlines, you may not like. Most of my students, they may not like me during the college days. After finishing college days, they will call me and they will say, sir, whatever I learned because of you. Okay, because laziness, time, deadlines. But when we are working on it, that will really help you. Very simple. If we are sincere about something, that will do good for you. That's all. If I do this webinar very sincerely, this will do good for somebody. Thank you, Arpita.
Very good. Thank you so much, sir.
Professor Leo, we are extending. Is it okay? I'm okay. Okay, I think you need to unmute. I think you are saying something.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, I think we will wind up. It's already 1 hour 20 minutes. And,
not an issue. If there is any questions, 1 or 2 questions, we can take and we can finish it with one
okay,
or two questions.
one question I will post it up because I got a WhatsApp message. The question was posted up. The question is very simple. Do you encourage first year students to go for internships as assistant directors? Do you encourage first year visual communication students? You know, like you really mean, what does it mean?
Yeah, I understand. Okay, right. It's not first year or second year or third year. Okay, so we have a bigger role to do in college. Okay, why we picked or selected or part of visual communication? To learn. Okay, so when you go start working as an intern, okay, you may miss the learnings which is happening in the college. That is also equally important. Okay, you need to learn the grammars. Okay, always I say this: learn the grammar, break the grammar later. If you don't learn, you will not know where to break and how to break. So you go for internship, not an issue, not in the cost of your learning. Okay, learning is primary. In industry, sometimes the work time will be different. Okay, probably they may extend, and sometimes you need to forego your learnings. Sometimes you will feel that your professors are the same faces you are watching every single day. You may take it lightly. Don't do it. I won't recommend that. Okay, because end of the day, if you are not learning properly something which is available, which you have chose to do it, then you will get scolding from your parents, and your learnings will be different. You try to have the balance between these. Okay, it's not like that you cannot keep on eating. Okay, you need to eat and you need to walk. Okay, it's like that. So like the same, do work, learn, have this balance. This I did in my career. I did internship. I worked with UTV. Okay, after college I will run to the office. 1:30, 1:20 our college will get over. Professor Leo knows that. 1:20 college will get over. From Nungambakam to T Nagar, it's just 20 minutes. I will go to the office. Okay, I will work. So this balance is important. You need to make sure that your learning and experience both is working really well. Okay, if it is not happening, then you cannot do good, or you will lose something. That is the problem. So you need to take the call whether uh, I should go for it or not. Sometimes my students will ask me, sir, what is your opinion? I will say, why you want my opinion? You tell me what is your opinion. Okay, because it is your life. But take handholdings from your professors, Professor Leo or Professor Devika or Professor Shanti or anybody, because their age will tell you something. Okay, because what you don't have is their age and the experience. Their age and experience will tell you something more. Listen to it. Take it forward. Yes, Professor Devika has written something. Sir, your opinion on adoption, culture, and recognition of the author, I mean the writer. Ma'am, whatever we do, we need to acknowledge the creator. In my slide, if you could have seen there, in my entire slide, I used only one photograph. In my entire slide, I made it black, simple, minimalistic. I was showing to my wife also. She asked, "What is this? It's only very black and very minimum text." I said, "No, I'm going to be in a creative platform, YouTube. Okay, so I need to be very perfect on many things. Okay, that's why I used only one photograph. At the bottom of the photograph, I have written PC, picture source, behindwoods.com, okay, used under Creative Commons uh, license for education purpose. So what I did is I took that photograph. I wanted to show who is Mr. Sivanesan. I did not have his photograph. Okay, so I took it but I have given the acknowledgement to the photographer who clicked, an anonymous photographer. I have used his work, but I have acknowledged the source. So when we acknowledge the source, that is the best creative ethics we do. Because media professionals or media practitioners, we should have the great level of ethics. Okay, we need to be very, very sensitive to ethics, because we reach mass people, mass in numbers. So whatever we do, we need to make sure that we do it in a right form and the right way. So go for it, adapt, but acknowledge the source. That is very important.
Great. Great. Vijay, I think we'll wind up. It's already 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Great.
Vijay, today I would say your session was really an eye-opener for many of our student community. Now, the way you took up examples, the way you, I was really amazed the way you sang songs, because I never seen you singing. So, which shows like you are the right person for this particular show, and you've really done well. And there have been a lot of WhatsApp messages been pouring. Okay, sir, can we get him as a workshop expert, etc., etc. has been pouring on my WhatsApp. So I really like to thank you, okay, for the session. Your preparation was amazing. The way you explained was simple words which can really reach the current generation. Okay, because I'm sure, like as they watch your show in their laptop, their mobile will be playing their WhatsApp message. So, but still, we are able to keep them in the tag. That's the best part there. So, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the preparation. Thanks a lot for coming to the show, taking up time, making the visual beautiful, especially the frame, your lighting. Everything was so good today. And like normally our Fridays ends with a Friday note, and you made it so beautiful for us. Thank you very much, Vijay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I also like to thank my management, because it's been quite long. We have been planning this particular show, and our principal ma'am, Dr. Vijay Kennedy, our joint correspondent, Mr. Shankar, and our management side, they have taken up huge responsibility of giving permission for us and making this one to come into play. And I like to thank my staff community, Dr. Devika, Dr. Ananda, and Pranav, of course, Clifford. And actually, like, we were quite amazed when you pronounced all of our staff's names. Vijay, and they were actually now helping us in this particular program. Thank you very much, faculties. And special thanks to my broadcasting team. They have been running through all this, especially your slide operator. And thank you, Sandeep. Special thanks to him and other technical team. A special thanks to other participants. You're there. There are a lot of questions were there, and your people have been watching the show for the last 1.5 hours, very calmly, very politely, very patiently. Thank you very much. We will be having one more shows in the coming weeks. We'll keep you updated in our events websites. You can watch us. In case of any doubts and clarification, you can always email us in info@class.ac.in. For more information on the department and our Kumaraguru College, you can always log into class.ac.in. With that, we are signing off. Thank you very much.
Hold on.
Yep,
Let me. Okay, so thank you so much for this opportunity. Normally, I don't go for much webinars because last year I did one for faculties, and almost a year I took for this particular session. So thank you so much for the offer, dear buddy, Professor Leo. We are in a very that is so good. Thank you so much. Then yes, obvious, I wanted this session to be in this form, in a studio with background lights, because I don't want to be a regular webinar kind of a speaker. At least I wanted to have a backdrop difference. Okay, a camera on the right side, this side, and lights and things like that. We did not do much of lighting and things like that. We made something, wanted to make something different. So thank you, Professor Leo. Thank you, all the faculty members of this School of Visual Communication, Kumaraguru College of Arts and Science. Thanks to Professor Vijay Kennedy, Principal. Thanks to Professor Shanti, Vice Principal, JC, and everyone out there at Kumaraguru. Thank you so much for the participants, because thank you for accommodating me for almost 1.5 hours. So I need to appreciate that. I appreciate. Special thanks to my gurus, my professors, because I wanted to acknowledge them. I am Vijay because of my parents, and because of my gurus, my professors, my experience, and things like that. So everything made this session a fruitful session. So thank you to all the gurus. Thank you to the technical team. I have a technical team here. So today is the entire power cut day, but things are really happening well, because obviously I'm a show director, so things has to go well, something like that. So thank you to the technical team here. Special thanks to my Vice Chancellor, Father Dr. Anthony Wovery. When I approached him saying that, Father, I wanted to do this webinar, he readily accepted and he said, go ahead and do, because he motivates a lot. Thanks to everyone. Thank you to my family, my wife, kids, my students, because every single day I learn from my students, and that is what we are trying to give it to you. So with this note, I sign off. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.